Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible. With special thanks to Revenant, Anerdinwarpaint, Antonio Hernandez, Matthew Holmquist, Nathan Welch Jr., and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Wasteland 3, as we continue our hunt for a fallen star. Though at this point, I believe we have actually removed the last significant obstacle in our way, so it really should just be a matter of returning to that concealed garage and finally meeting Morningstar in person, face-to-face plate. That said, as usual, we do have some points to spend, so let's go ahead and drop 2 more points into Pazeppi's coordination. That'll net her another action point. And you know what? We're really starting to stack up some excess perk points here, so let's go ahead and start bumping evasion on some of our guys. We've got the points for it. Might as well put them to use. Alright, let's swing back around to that concealed garage and meet the mysterious Morningstar. Scotchmo. Just waiting for the stragglers. Okay.
Welcome, Rangers. When you're ready, I'll open the blast doors.
We're ready.
Great. I can't wait to meet you.
These terminals are covered in a thick layer of dust. Reagan Vehicle Development. An ancient pre-war log of top-secret development of some kind of advanced car. And a skill book. You'll just die tired. +1 to sniper rifles. Very nice.
Morningstar's physical specs look solid. What about sensors?
The DARPA brief calls for magnoscopic visual input, passive IR, and military-grade audio pickups. The initial proposal called for a micro-phased radar array, but the energy output was an issue.
The power plant couldn't handle it?
The problem wasn't the reactor. The problem was the microwave emissions from the radar would cook everything within a 30-yard radius.
Holy shit! They're really going all in for the Gipper here, aren't they?
Sure. If we can ever manage to get the thing to actually drive.
Minor detail. Everything else is right on target.
I can see how that might be a problematic design. Another Tarjan token. We'll take it, but it kind of makes me feel like they've started running out of ideas of what to put in these toasters. Knight Rider Horn. The horn of a loner, on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, and the weak. We'll take that. Might actually use it, too.
Greetings, Rangers. I am Mourning.
Wait, you're a talking car? You told us this was a matter of life or death.
It is. I wish to die.
You sounded like a person on the radio. You lied to us.
I admit I didn't tell the whole truth, but would you have come had you known my true nature? I am desperate.
We're not doing anything until you tell us what this is all about.
Then I'll do my best to explain. Before the war, there were several attempts on the life of elder statesman Ronald Reagan. I was built to protect him from harm and allow him to take the fight to his enemies if necessary. Sadly, before I could be completed, the bombs fell, and this facility was abandoned. Thus, though the sole reason for my existence has been dead for more than 150 years, I have sat here, alone, aware, and conscious of my failure ever since. It has been unbearable.
The poor thing, dying from loneliness, yet unable to die. Surely, friends, we can give it a reason to live.
Ah, you're a sweetheart, Pazeppi. Don't ever change. You knew Ronald Reagan?
Sadly, I never had the honor. In a life of disappointment, not meeting America's greatest president is the deepest.
Have you ever heard of the Gippers?
Dangerous lunatics. I have monitored their radio traffic. They think they honor the elder statesman, when deifying him goes against every precept of his deeply held Christian beliefs. They disgust me.
Wow, okay. Not the response I expected. Let's talk about your capabilities first.
Such as they are, I am a worthless piece of scrap.
Yeah, we all feel that way sometimes, Morningstar. Tell us about your weapon systems.
I am outfitted with what my creators called the Great Communicator, the most powerful weapon available at the time of my construction. But more important is my advanced cognition engine, which allows me to make nanosecond tactical judgments while in battle. I am apparently the most sophisticated combat AI ever created.
Can we complete you? Repair you?
That is sadly impossible. I was to be powered by a nuclear engine capable of generating 3,000 horsepower, but the technological breakthroughs necessary to its function never materialized, and no lesser engine would be capable of moving my considerable weight. I am as pathetic as an elephant without muscles. I shall never move.
Is your consciousness an intrinsic part of your body, or could it be transferred?
It could, yes. My cognitive circuits were made to be removed for servicing and upgrades as needed, or if an improved version of my body was ever completed. But there's no point to that now. I was built to protect Ronald Reagan, and Ronald Reagan is dead. There is no reason for the continued existence of my self.
Thank you for the systems briefing. Let's go back.
Of course.
Are you certain you want to die?
I have been certain for 150 years. All I have been waiting for is some gracious deliverer to answer my call.
All right, let's talk about what you want us to do for you.
Thank you. Killing me will be a delicate operation, and not without risk, but it shouldn't take you very long. And, if it will serve as an incentive to help me, you will be able to extract my primary weapon in the process. Payment, as it were.
Actually, we'd like to put you to work. Pull your brain out of this vehicle and put you in ours.
Work? For you? But I was built to protect Elder Statesman Reagan. I have no other purpose, and I've failed in that purpose. Death is my only option. And if I were to die, perhaps God might permit me to at last see President Reagan, as I have longed to do all this time.
Ah, Silicon Heaven, the electronic afterlife, the gathering place for the souls of all electronic equipment. Otherwise, where would all the calculators go? You say you were programmed to believe these things, so it's not you who are obsolete, but your programming. Let us fix that. Let us give you a new purpose.
You would just rewrite my brain? Change my personality? My beliefs? No! Am I? Strangers, this love of the elder statesman, this guilt at my failure to protect him, has been a weight on me heavier than my armor. I do not wish to forget what the President means to me. And yet, if I could move on without dying, if I could do something to prove that my life has not been a pointless joke, I would be always in your debt. But you must promise me that you won't erase him from my heart. You must promise me I will still be me.
Of course, we promise.
Thank you. Then I am in your hands. You will need to remove my cognitive engine, but 2 things. 1, the moment you start uncoupling it, my defensive cortex will begin an auto-destruct sequence, and to stop me from exploding and killing you all, you'll have to complete my removal before it reaches 0. 2, that means you will have to destroy my primary weapon, the Great Communicator, because you will not have enough time to remove it and my brain.
I'm sorry, stop you from what now?
It is a safety feature. Removal of my cognitive engine is interpreted as an attack, and any such attack will trigger a self-destruct sequence. You will have roughly 1 minute to finish the job before I explode, so do not hesitate once you begin, Rangers.
Wait, so we get either your brain or your super-secret weapon, but not both?
I'm afraid so. The Great Communicator's delicate core systems would take too much time to extract intact, and they block access to my cognitive engine. You will have to destroy them to free me before the self-destruct countdown clock expires.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
Is this pain? This is unbearable.
An indicator on the dashboard flashes. Warning, self-destruct countdown initiated.
Forgive me, Rangers. I was unaware. The procedure would cause discomfort. but you mustn't stop. Evan, help me. Hurry, it hurts.
Yeah, why wouldn't you want a car that feels pain? Your tax dollars at work.
Oh,
You locate an innocent-looking processor and pull it out. Morningstar sighs.
thank you, Rangers. That is a great relief. I should remind you that in 25 seconds, I will self-destruct.
No pressure.
Thank you.
You swiftly finish unplugging the last connections, and the self-destruct countdown stops, with mere seconds to go. Oh, I am free. How strange it feels. Thank you, Rangers. I am ready to be installed in my new home. For some reason, the audio didn't fire.
Transfer complete. I am... Forgive me. My sensors make it clear this vehicle was not built by the finest engineers in the land. However, it is mobile, while my previous incarnation, despite the innovation of its design, was not. Please, Rangers, when you're ready, I am eager to be taken for a spin.
Well, look at that. And here I was thinking we might have to swing back to Colorado Springs to get him properly installed. But we took care of it right here on site. Welcome aboard, Morningstar. We'll be heading back out in just a moment, but first I want to take another pass at that $1 trillion paperweight, just to make sure we're not missing anything. Scotchmo. The intelligence that animated Morningstar's chassis is gone. All that remains is scrap. Yeah, but I feel like there'd be something in there worth salvaging, aside from Morningstar himself. But fine. I get it. I understand this is just one of those game-isms. You either get the super cool robot driver, or you get the mystery weapon. Though I will note that in retrospect, there are some odd discrepancies there. Morningstar himself told us that the engineers designed him with portability in mind, in case they ever built him an upgraded or just functional chassis. Which begs the question of why they would then also design his original chassis to start this nuclear meltdown sequence the second you start removing his core. Anyway, moving on.
November 1, this is Ranger HQ. Hey, listen up. I got a distress call from near your position. A man named Bulb says his mine's being attacked by, Martians.
Huh. Okay. Can you repeat that, HQ?
I'd really rather not, November 1.
Fair.
The distress call wasn't too clear on what these Martians are, but could be any manner of beast or monster. Advise checking it out. I think this Bulb fellow will be happy to tell you more. Over and out.
All right. I guess that is our next stop. a bit of a ways out there, but that should be the very northwest corner of the perimeter we're currently mapping out. So I guess we'll continue heading north along the map edge until we hit the top, and then head due west. Oh, hey. This might be a hunter's cabin, but the hunter's not here. They won't mind, right? Well, we don't really need any rest or repairs, so I guess we'll just loot the place. You find a padlocked stash. Time to get out your tools. Trooper legs. And I guess that's it. Slightly lower tier than our current gear. But I suppose we should start considering upgrades for Longway. I've resisted swapping out his armor thus far because I just really like the way the machine shop armor looks. I'll have to give it some thought. Oh my. I'm not used to seeing so many encounters spawn so close together. Sister Reckoning. A big truck, painted like an American flag, stops when it sees you. A woman in a red cowboy hat leans out.
Howdy, partners. My name is Sister Nancy Reckoning, a Reagan-blessed arms dealer. Y'all need guns?
You Gippers are true Americans. The only hope for Colorado's future.
Thanks for saying that, Patriot. It means a lot.
Well, it means +1 to reputation. What's the word from the shining city on the hill?
Word is, a bald eagle was sighted flying over Colorado Springs. Imagine that! The wings of freedom stretching across this land and blessing us all. Praise Reagan!
Sure. Show us what you got.
Reagan bless this arms deal.
A, very interesting phrasing. Alright, let's go ahead and dump some of this excess gear. I will note that it turns out that our current flamethrower is the best flamethrower in the game. At least the best one that actually throws flames. For some reason, the top tier shoots electricity. We'll go ahead and clear out her entire stock of deployables. And let's have a quick look at ammo. I think we're okay, but it never hurts to double check. I guess we should grab all those energy cells. We are burning through those pretty quickly these days. Let's grab all that flamethrower fuel too. Why not? Better safe than sorry. Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, I wanted to buy some medical supplies, but I accidentally clicked on the radio through the shop interface, so here we are. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Let's play a melancholy one now, okay? A song about love, loss, and moving on. A song to touch the heart.
Baby, if you ever wondered what became of me, I'm living on the air in Cincinnati, WKRD. I'm not kind of tired, packing and unpacking. Downtown, up and down the dial. Whenever I'm meant to be, just make of me.
You see a massive, lethal Scorpitron in the distance. You spot a few caches of goods in its path, untouched by scavengers, but soon to be turned to dust. Well, let's secure what loot we can, then we'll take this thing down. You drag a crate out of harm's way to check later. Let's keep it going. You move another crate out of the way for further investigation later. Oh, and that's that. Let's do this. Hopefully, you will live to regret this. Honestly, given that this thing scaled for Denver, I'm sure we'll be fine. Okay, so not only do we have a Scorpitron, but we've also got an assortment of mid-tier combat bots. But nothing that we can't handle. Let me just tweak the settings here real quick. There we go. I hate going sans music, but that is the only track in the game that seems to give me trouble. I think the first thing we'll do here is see if we can knock out a chunk of those bots with a well-placed cluster bomb. That'll do. Wow. Okay then. Killer's too far back, so we will grab the Octatron and then scrap the killer. I would like to see if we can knock out that other killer too, but one thing at a time. Lovely. We'll just have her hold ground. Might just have to weather this thing's fire for a turn. Yeah, we'll just move up. We'll want to keep our guys spread out. This thing might be lower level, but I have no doubt it can still deal out some pretty hefty damage. Oh, neat. Looks like installing Morningstar gave the Kodiak 2 extra action points. We'll have to keep that in mind for future encounters. We will have it hold position for now, though, because otherwise it would end up blocking Dahl. Yikes. It's gotta be slightly stressful. Okay, that actually went surprisingly well. Though I do notice that Major Tom and the zoo crew are sitting this one out. Let's start whittling down that Scorpitron. Morningstar moving up. Yeah, we'll just clear the Octatron too. Nice. Let's go ahead and clear that killer, too. Actually, we'll just make this a normal attack. Yep, that's what I thought. It felt a bit excessive to waste our precision attack on that. We'll go ahead and trim that minigun. Okay, one more turn.
My paint.
Yeah, I beg to differ. Hey, good as new. Aside from a lifetime of traumatic flashbacks to being burned alive. Adventure! And one more tap should do it.
We did it!
Nicely done, November. Let's collect our loot and be on our way. Those Martians aren't going to fight themselves. Ooh, tactical nuke. Hopefully we'll find whatever we need to actually fire those things at some point. Huh. This would actually be some reasonably decent gear if we hadn't kind of mucked up the entire game's pacing by hitting Aspen first. I will note, though, that there is kind of an odd gap between Tier 7 and 10 when it comes to the launch build of the game. I imagine that's because locations like Steel Town, the Dunes, and the NORAD tunnels were originally supposed to be higher level regions, which would help fill that gap. As always, I do hope that those locations still end up working their way back in at some point. Wow, level 9 lock. With a top-tier incinerator inside. That would have actually been a fantastic find if we didn't already have one. Okay, I think that's everything. Aside from the one container of random loot we would have gotten if we had had 8 sneaky. Not too shabby for 10 minutes work. Moving on.
Hey, traveler. Why not visit Denver, the cultural center of free Colorado? Warning. Dangers of Denver include hostile wildlife, scavenging thugs, Reagan-worshipping fascists, rusty nails, collapsing buildings, and background radiation. Denver, the jewel of the North.
That pre-war advert for Denver was still surprisingly relevant, even in the post-apocalypse. I guess some things never change. And here we are. Tellurium Mine. A cabin in a canyon near a mine. Gosh, thanks.
Damn! You're here! You got my message!
Sure am glad to see you folks. Yes, sir. We got us a genuine crisis here.
The message we got said something about Martians?
Martians? Yes, sir. Well, Martian robots anyhow. Don't know what else they could be. They showed up right out of the blue like they stepped off a flying saucer. I reckon the Martians want my Tellurium, so they sent their war machines to jump my claim. This here's my Tellurium mine, you see. Well, mine and Trudy's. Don't know what I'd do without the old girl. Works harder than any man I ever saw, and ain't afeard of nothing. Why, I once saw her bite a grizzly bear right on the ass. Yes, sir. Folks around here call me Bulb, by the way. That's on account of the Tellurium. Makes you stink like garlic. Don't much bother me, and Trudy don't seem to mind, if you know what I mean. Where was I? Oh yeah, the Martians. Me and Trudy was working at the mine, and all of a sudden these robots appeared. One of them was as big as a house. You could tell right off they weren't no scavengers. They was something else.
So you're telling us that robots from Mars have taken over your mine?
Yes, sir. But wait till you hear the weird part. Now, I bet you're asking yourself how an old prospector like Bulb would know the difference between a Martian death machine and some old scavenger robot. Am I right?
I mean, among other things, sure.
We get scavengers poking around up here all the time. And Trudy can hear them rust buckets coming a mile off. Well, we leave out old parts or a few pounds of ore, and they leave us be. But not the Martians. Oh, no, sir. When they turned up, the scavengers got madder than a pack of wet hornets. They came at the Martians from all directions. Me and Trudy caught in the middle. I told the old girl to hightail it out of there, but Trudy was fit to raise hell. And you can't tell her nothing when she's got her dander up. I ran down here to call for help, and I've been waiting on you folks ever since. I ain't seen Trudy for a while now, and I'm getting worried. Can you do something about these dang robots?
We've, got some questions.
I reckon you do. Ask away. I'm always glad for a little conversation. Just ask Trudy. It's a wonder I ain't talked her ears off after all these years.
Sure. You, don't get many visitors, do you?
Can't say we do, unless you count the scavengers, and they ain't much for conversation. Nope, me and Trudy are left to ourselves most times. Gets lonely up here, especially in the winter. But we got the mind to keep us busy, and we talk to pass the time. And that Trudy, she's a hell of a listener, let me tell you.
What's tellurium?
Glad you asked. It's this mineral that's good for making electronics and such. Most of what we scrape out of the mine we send to the Patriarch. Most folks won't handle it because it's toxic. But I ain't never had no problems with it.
Yeah, you do seem very healthy.
This used to be a gold mine, you know, way back before the bombs fell. When the mine got played out, the owners turned it into some kind of tourist trap.
That's actually kind of interesting. I'll have to check my old notes, see if I can figure out what real-world tourist trap inspired this location.
I came up here hoping there might still be a little gold left, but found the Tellurium instead. It ain't an easy life, but it keeps me and Trudy fed. Don't know what I'd do without the old girl, let me tell you.
You said you've dealt with scavengers before?
Oh yeah, started a few years back. First one group, then another. They'd roll in, tear things up, take whatever they could. Lately, though, it's been a different bunch. Got a leader named Nail Stack, Neil Stack, something like that. We never know when they're gonna turn up, but when Trudy hears them coming, we set out a little Tellurium, and they leave us be. Not the best deal, maybe, but it beats getting killed.
I would agree. Thanks. That's all for now.
Fair enough. If you change your mind, you know where to find me.
You know, you really do reek of garlic. Can't you do anything about the smell?
They used to call it Tellurium breath back in the day. Occupational hazard, I reckon. Been up here so long I don't even notice. Trudy don't mind, so why should I?
Okay, well, don't worry, Bulb. We'll take care of it.
I knew you was good folks the minute I laid eyes on you. Yes, sir. Mine's just over that hill yonder. You find Trudy and chase them dang robots off my claim. One more thing. If you find Trudy and she's well, you know. I'd appreciate it if you'd bring her necklace back. There's some codes written on it that I need to run the mine. She kept them safe for me. I'll be waiting here when you're done. Good luck up there.
Thanks, Bulb. Though I am sure we'll be fine. Though I do think it's going to have to wait because we are just past time. Can't quite make out what that sign's supposed to say. Again, I'll have to do a bit of off-screen research. See if I can narrow that down. Anyway, we will hit the pause button for now, but we will pick up here next time. As we blast some Martians. Not quite what I think Team November signed up for, but, you know, you adapt to the situation you find yourself in. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Wasteland 3, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube and Twitch channels, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. As always, links are in the description.
I should remind you that in 25 seconds, I will self-destruct.